largely, let me say so. And yet there's this school of thought, which you seem to subscribe to, that politicians should not play any role, or political parties should not play any role in the constitution of a body that manages elections. Early in the morning, some church groups were here. To be exact, the NCCK and the Catholics, bishops. And the NCCK suggested that they be allowed to constitute for us the body, the IBC. You see, this is a serious clash of opinion. And we really want you to help us because we perceive you to be fairly neutral and objective. Is it conceivable? Is it even really feasible that you can exclude politicians, political parties from an exercise that culminates in the constitution of a body that manages the elections? Yeah, thank you.
Mayor. Yeah, I think you mentioned something very important about some divisive remarks, political statements that divide an already divided country, and you have made some, I think, reports to NCIC. But I might surprise you, and I tell you NCIC was here, and they didn't find anything divisive about certain statements. Some of those most famous is dividing this country into a country of shareholders and non-shareholders. Yani kuna wale wa Kenya ni shareholders, wanajivunia kuwa wa Kenya, na kuna wale sio shareholders, wanavumilia kuwa wa Kenya. But NCIC was here, they said, oh, that is not very divisive. But there we are. On the reason why we are here, we had demonstrations. The high cost of living sent the Kenyans onto the streets. The issue of the opening of the servers, electoral justice, was one of the reasons Kenyans went to the streets. But our two principals sat and they said we need to sit and talk. That's why we're here. In the course of those demonstrations, there were serious human rights violations. I had expected that in your presentation, you would also address us on the issue of police brutality. There were 72 Kenyans who lost their lives through bullet wounds from police bullets. Many Kenyans were maimed, and some have not recovered as we speak. Would like to hear of that because of life becoming unbearable in Kenya and people carrying sufrias and going on the streets. As we speak, today we hear the UN Security Council has approved Kenya police going to Haiti. Would like you to also address us on that, whether they're well prepared in terms of training, going to a foreign terrain where they neither speak French nor Creole, and whether the abuse we saw here in Nairobi when we were demonstrating will be exported to Haiti, where demonstrations have been against a president whose legitimacy is being questioned. Would like to hear from you on that. Thank you.
Yeah, and just before you respond, you've mentioned that obviously there's need for us to handle IEBC as a matter of urgency. Based on the issues that you've raised, we are past the date for delimitation, and we have constituencies and wards that are currently not represented at all. Now, you've mentioned the need for inclusivity in the panel that will determine the IEBC commissioners. And you did mention a whole list of people who should be included. How many panelists, in your view, should be in that panel?
Please answer in under 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you very, very much for those interventions, comments, and questions. On the issue of political parties, Honorable Omar, we will be able to share further submissions on best practices that are out there. We undertake to do that within the next 2 working days. We shall share that. On the issue of whether the 12 months should apply now or later, We would, as a commission, say it should apply later. We should form one now because this is a crisis we are dealing with and we want to address it. There's a dialogue to make a way forward. So it shouldn't apply now, but going forward, I think that's how we should address and look at issues. On the issue of the CDF being constitutional and can we make it constitutional by amendment? Indeed, if we amended the Constitution and say this is grounded there, then it would be legal. But what we are saying as a Human Rights Commission is that this fund has been abused to the extent that it has led to violations of human rights. We are ready to share with you data on some of these reports that we have